Hired a big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place. And we know how that turned out. The ratings went right down the tubes. It's been a total disaster.
President Trump, I just saw your press conference with President Putin, and it was embarrassing. I mean, you stood there like a little wet noodle, like a little fanboy.
Immigrant to this country, I would like to say a few words to my fellow Americans. President Trump sought to overturn the results of an election, and of a fair election.
Have you heard that? When Arnold Schwarzenegger dropped Trump's reputation right into next week, that was the sound of the internet exploding. To be honest, this is the political smackdown we didn't realize we needed, and the governor just schooled the Donald. This is Celebrity Roast Presidential Edition, so forget about Celebrity Apprentice. Arnold isn't here to play, let me tell you. With a dash of Austrian sass, he's delivering some harsh realities. Do you recall Arnold as the man who lifted large objects while wearing little shorts? Oh, the good old days. Since then, however, our favorite Austrian beefcake has advanced significantly. His journey has been like an action movie set in real life, with twists that would make even the Terminator's head spin, from pumping iron to boosting California's economy. Imagine this now. A man with a strong accent and a lot of muscle declares he will become a movie star. Doesn't that sound like a joke? Arnold wasn't kidding though. He became the biggest action star of the 1980s and 1990s, made "I'll be back" a catchphrase, and flexed his way into Hollywood. Talk about a man who made himself. But hold on, there's more. When we believed Arnold had attained his ultimate form, he does the iconic Schwarzenegger move and utters, "Baby, hasta la vista."
You famously said that the Republican Party has a problem at the box office. I heard you equate the GOP with the Titanic. Explain.
The reason why I said it was because their policies were such that they were not really including everybody. And we were losing them because we were not addressing those issues. So I was telling them, I said, look, the way you're going, by being so anti, healthcare reform and being so anti-environment and stuff like this, we are losing and we are dying at the box office.
Playing a part? Completed. The next thing we know, he's a candidate for California governor. Who, after all, does that? Arnold is the one who does. A former bodybuilder who is now an actor and a governor. It sounds more insane than a predator on a roller coaster. The worst part is that Arnold did a respectable job. He faced several significant problems after rolling up his sleeves, most likely to flaunt his biceps. Changes in the climate? He was on John Connor like a T-800. Reforming healthcare? He worked it out like it belonged at Gold's Gym. He accomplished things. He wasn't just a Hollywood actor portraying a politician.
President Trump, I just saw your press conference with President Putin, and it was embarrassing. I mean, you stood there like a little wet noodle, like a little fanboy. I mean, I was asking myself, when are you going to ask him for an autograph or for a selfie or something like that? I mean, you literally sold out at this press conference our intelligence community, our justice system, and worst of all, our country. You're the President of the United States. You shouldn't do that. I mean, what's the matter with you? I mean, whatever happened to the strong words or to the strength of Ronald Reagan when he stood there at the Berlin Wall and he said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall? What happened to all that?
This is where things start to become very interesting, though. Arnold's immigrant heritage is a secret weapon that sets him apart from other politicians. The Austrian oak does indeed offer a whole different viewpoint on American politics. He seems to be saying, hey, you jabronis, pay attention. I've seen both sides of the argument, and we must accommodate everyone at this gathering.
They hired a big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place. And we know how that turned out. The ratings went right down the tubes. It's been a total disaster.
Donald, I have a great idea. Why don't we switch jobs? You take over TV because you're such an expert in ratings, and I take over your job. And then people can finally sleep comfortably again. So being from Europe, I have seen firsthand how things can spin out of control. I know there is a fear in this country and all over the world that something like this could happen right here.
You would imagine that Arnold and Trump would be best friends if he were a Republican governor. False. It appears that our muscular action hero has an independent mind and isn't hesitant to show off his political prowess, even if it means criticizing his own party for behaving like, in his words, a group of sexy men. Arnold also has some harsh things to say about the Republican Party. He claims that there is a significant box office issue facing the Republican Party. You guys are about as popular as a Jingle All the Way sequel is what Hollywood is saying.
What do you think about Donald Trump running for president again?
You know, I think that's the past. And I think that we have to march into the future. And I think there are very talented people in this country on the Republican side that can run. So I would go, look in the future rather than in a real